But Governor, I am very, very concerned looking at your pending bills register. I don't know whether you are looking at your financial statement, especially that schedule on pending bills. I hope you came with a copy of your financial statements. If you look at your financial statements, the annex number 5 on pending bills. So let's take, for example, the first page where there are first 9 entries. These are invoices of 2014, 2015. So Sophia Enterprises was given a contract on 14th of March 2014 to supply foodstuff to Chuka Hospital at a cost of 123,000. Is still outstanding to date. Someone who supplied foodstuff to a hospital, it has already been eaten, is still outstanding to date. And I want to believe this must be a small or micro enterprise. Moven Kester provided printing services on 9th of March 2014, is owed 307,000, has not been paid. Again, Sophia Enterprises is owed thrice for supply of foodstuff to Chuka Hospital, 123,000, 157,000, 192,000. If you go to row number 11, Sophia Enterprises again, 137,000 supply of foodstuff to Chuka Hospital. Let us today speak on behalf of this Sophia Enterprise. I don't know them. I don't know who they are. But it's going to be a case study of how we treat small enterprises in county governments. Governor, what could be the reason that these Sophia Enterprises, there are 4 or 5 invoices of 2014-2015 for supply of foodstuff, which is perishable, would remain unpaid today?
Chair, in 2014, I was with you in the gym of Parliament, and therefore I also want to confess that I did not know this Sophia, and therefore would have no reason not to pay based on knowing or not knowing. I would like our CC Finance to tell us why they have not paid Sophia for all these years.
Chair, thank you, Chair. Some of the pending bills are lies out of court cases, and there are some of them cases that we do not have documentation.
Let's deal with Sophia. I also don't know Sophia. Maybe you should first tell us that, Mr. Chairman, subsequently they have been paid. That would assure this committee. But if they remain unpaid, you must tell us how supply of foodstuff to a hospital would later on be subjected to litigation. Someone has brought meat which goes bad in 2 days. What verification are you doing 10 years later? Are you going to confirm whether the meat was delivered, whether the meat was cooked, whether the meat was weighed? We are killing businesses in counties. We are killing the hopes of young people. You might find this is a woman-led enterprise, perhaps special category. How can one person have 5 invoices for supply of food which was eaten and honored for that long? We are treating our people badly.
Can I say something?
Senator Blue.
To the governor, whether you've been in parliament or not, 2014, you should have paid Sophia when you came in as a governor. Number 2, I just want to know whether Sophia is still a supplier with the county government. Those are 2 issues.
Yeah, Governor, I think we must now be specific. Now, let's talk about, and this is why I wanted us to, I said at the beginning that today we are not having theater. Today is not about the governor versus the Senate. Today it is the Senate speaking for the people, the suppliers, and the contractors in Tharaka Nithi. And Senator Gataya, I hope you are not about to declare interest.
No, Chair. I've just captioned the CC talk of cases maybe generated from litigations and so forth. So in this particular case of Sophia, is there any contention
Yeah.
on this particular case?
Sophia is not subject to any litigation. I must confirm we trying to verify, because when the payments come to us, we pay on verification of documentation. Sophia, as we talk now, the documentation is not complete.
Can you be specific on what documentation you require when you have an LSO number, you have a contract date, you've got an invoice note number? What other verification do you need to confirm that Sophia delivered foodstuff to a hospital?
Chair, when
Just a minute, Chair. You see, just like me when I was not there, and I should not pretend, this man was in Central Bank that time.
Well,
The common factor here, Chair.
He's now the CC.
I understand,
And you are
Chair.
now the CEO.
I understand, Chair. And I would like them to take responsibility. This gentleman behind me here, who is the CFO, seems to be having a lot of information. Can you allow me to speak?
He knows more than the CEO.
He knows more than the CC because he's the one giving him information.
And he knows more than the CEO.
He didn't take a right to Senate. Let him speak.
Where is that gentleman?
Chair, may I also
That
confirm
the governor is happy to throw under the bus.
Yes, in our verification committee.
Senator Cherargei, you need to pay attention now. We have someone here who looks like the governor has failed to deal with, and he wants the Senate to deal with him on his behalf. But we shall not get into that space. So can you tell us what this Sophia, why you cannot pay them and the delivered foodstuff, and you have acknowledged it by including it in your financial statements?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, I wish to confirm that we have some documents with regard to supplies done by Sophia, but those supplies are not yet to be verified because we don't have the document of deliveries, neither do we have even inspection report that were done for supplies done to the Chuka Hospital. Although we have some part of those invoices, but we are yet to validate that the supplies actually were done, because we still have an obligation to make sure that whatever you are paying is properly accounted for.
So what is the responsibility of Sophia and what is your responsibility as a county? Sophia has an LSO, isn't it?
Yes.
Sophia has perhaps a delivery note. So your S11s, S13s and all that nonsense is your nonsense. It is not Sophia's. How can that then be the responsibility of Sophia? This is food. And Auditor, you'll help us explain, because you usually talk of S11s and S13s, stores, issues, etc. When it's food, maybe it's just tomatoes. What evidence is this? And please speak the English, the language of the small-scale business person, so that they can be guided. What documentation is this that you need? When you gave someone a contract, gave them an LSO, they invoiced you, there was a delivery note. What do you need? Do you need a patient to tell you whether they ate the food?
Chair, I'm responding on the behalf of the Treasury that even when you're making payments, we need to be ascertained and assured that the supplies were done and the goods were received. So when you don't get some documents, we have to refer back to the accounting officer of the department to ensure that those documents are provided so that we can be able to make sure that the payment is done with all the support documents attached. So the Chuka Hospital has not been able to provide to the Treasury Department the evidence of supplies.
Does Sophia run Chuka Hospital?
We have instructed the
Why
department.
is the responsibility going back to Sophia?
We haven't transferred the responsibility to Sophia as a supplier, but to our department to provide the documents so that Treasury can be able to provide, to make the payments.
So you are just telling us it's okay, you can wait until Christ comes for that to be done?
We get some commitment now that it is 2015.
Yes, these
So
are
how many
20,
more, how many, CFO, how many-
20th of March
how many more
2014.
years do you require to verify whether Sophia is supposed to be paid?
So
or
you've
not?
done it for 10 years now. How much more time do you need?
Chair.
This is, Governor, this is unjust, this is unfair, this is unacceptable, and that officer, mtayarishiani Biblia, because he thinks he has come here to joke. We are not going to take those kind of explanations. That for 10 years, you are trying to establish whether someone delivered meat to a hospital. Surely, Governor, I thought this is what you went to Tharakanithi to fix. Because indeed, yes, we are with you here around this time. Why is this happening under your watch.
Chair, is it possible to look at the two sides of the coin?
What is the other side?
The other side is if there is no delivery note. Yes, Sophia has an LSO, she was told supply. That's okay. If she does not have a delivery note to show that she delivered, do we pay on account that she has an LSO?
After 10 years, strike it off your records.
If this LSO is not provided, I mean, if the delivery is not provided and the report that this gadget or the food was received, if we pay, we will be on this floor here.
Governor,
accounting where we paid.
You previously talked of a 6-year limitation on documentation. Why are you keeping this in your books for 10 years? That means that it is payable.
Chair.
If those things are not there, strike it off. Reduce your accounts payable.
Chair, can the county give us an evidence to show that they have written to her to provide those documents?
CFO?
Governor, don't accept this kind of explanations.
Through the chair, one would also be interested to know whether Sophia is still in business.
Or whether they're alive.
Or whether she died or something. And I'm very sure there are so many other Sophias. Maybe the governor is not even private to that information.
And Sophia is just an example. On this schedule, there's total hospital solution. Supply of medical equipment, supply of non-pharmaceuticals, again, dating to 2014. If you have all these doubts, why are you keeping it in your records for 10 years? Governor.
CFO, I think this is you to answer. Ama ukule kiapo.
Lazima ukule kiapo kabla hajajibu yeye.
CFO?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, we have kept the document in our record in the financial statement that these people still claim some money to the counties.
No. My question is
it's a very good question
clear.
that Senator Duro threw to you. Whether do you have any written evidence to Sophia and so many other Sophias that to establish whether she really supplied? I mean, whether there is any delivery.
You have any letter that shows you've written to Sophia to provide evidence on her case?
Chair, let me confirm this. That in 2018, when the Governor Muthomi came on board, we issued a national notice that everybody who is owed money to the county to break the document. Some of these apply.
See, you are not answering my question. I have asked specifically.
We specifically have not written to Sophia as an individual, but we have centralized notices.
That is not enough. We don't even know this Sophia, but the thing is, have you written to those contractors to provide documentary evidence so that you can clear whether they have valid cases or not? Just a blanket notice in the newspaper is not enough.
You know,
Governor?
Chair, you know, when somebody gets into this kind of information, then somebody will tend even to taint the name of the county badly, negative, that the county has gone to pay more suppliers, which is not very healthy. So I think CFO, your team, the CC, I think I would now agree with the chair. You expand this one from your records. If you are not ready to pay, how do you undertake for 10-year period to verify whether there was delivery or not?
Now, control of budget. There's a reason why you are here. And for every requisition that counties make, you make some demands on settlement of pending bills. Can you explain how that works? And can you explain how that approach has still failed to address these historical bills?
Thank you, Chair. Now, the control of budget actually issued guidelines, these are exchequer guidelines, to counties, and it guides them on what, on some of the process and the documentation that they need to produce for them to be able to withdraw funds from their CRF. Now, with regards to Tharaka Nithi County, and I am quoting from the report of statutory report of the control of budget. This is County Government Budget Implementation Review Report for the year 2023-2024, the year that ended in June. And one of the concerns that the control of budget raised was non-adherence to pending bills payment plan by the county. Back to you, Chair.
No, I'm aware that when counties make requisitions they have to provide a plan for settlement of pending bills. It's part of the recommendations here. How come that control has not caused counties to pay the long-standing bills? Or what exactly is it that you ask counties to submit when they're making their requisitions?
We usually ask them to give us, once we release the funds to them, before they come back for another one, we ask them to give us the returns for what they previously paid. That is for the pending bills. Now, in this case, Sophia might be in the pending bill payment plan, but because of that non-adherence to the aging of those pending bills, that's why we're having this issue.
Governor, you must give us a way forward, and this is not a matter to toss back to your CFO. You are the CEO, and I believe that when we had conversations when you're still member of parliament, you went to the county to fix these problems, but they are still festering under your administration.
First of all,
Just a minute. Let's contextualize it. You close a year with a pending bill of 842 million. Your revenue is? What's your annual revenue? 4.6.
yeah, 4.6.
4.6, most of which goes to salaries,
That's correct.
and the part goes to the assembly. And with that 842 million as pending bills, you basically are left with nothing. So you need to tell us as a Senate, over and above the recommendations you have made here, can you also be human? Put on now your heart of being a human, being the one to promote small business, being the one to ensure that businesses are paid for work done, and being the one to make sure that your staff are doing the right thing. They're not killing businessmen. I really need your assurance on a way forward on this.
Chair, I agree with you, yes. I had committed to fixing the county, and I have attempted, and I think we are somewhere. Because 2014 we are talking about, we were collecting around less than, by 2016 we were collecting less than 100 million in own source revenue. We are today at almost 417, which means we fixed something as far as seepage is concerned. The pending bills were at 1.3 billion that time. We have since cleared pending bills, and we are only about 350 for the years that are elapsed. I know we crossed the year with about 850. Some of them are usually very current pending bills that are not payable until maybe the completion of the works. You have asked me to make a commitment that is again a double-edged sword. The Office of the Auditor General is seated here. The moment I make the payment for Sophia's without the proper documentation, they will bring me back here. The moment I don't pay Sophia also, it's injustice. So allow me to go back and weigh which is the lesser evil. Then I'll do it.
It is not about you going to weigh. It is about you doing the right thing. And the right thing is, if Sophia delivered foodstuff to Chuka Hospital, pay them. If they did not deliver and they are making a fraudulent claim, take them to ESCC. That's a decision you have to make. Does it take 10 years to establish that? Expunge them from your records, and that can be done in only two ways: by paying them or by forwarding their file to DCI. That's the right thing. Is there any other option, Governor?
Yeah, there's an option.
Which one? Which is the third one? It can't be verification because it's
if they have gone to court and they have been given a judgment in their favor that they should be paid without the judge thinking whether we have documentation to pay or not, we are still, and we have very many of those type. We are in still a catch-22 position. Because of course, when they go to court, the judge listens to them the same way you are listening to them.
Governor,
not with the ears,
to avoid
but
being
with the hearts.
speculative, unless you have evidence that this particular service provider has gone to court. I think your officer has said that they are still verifying, which we find completely unacceptable to verify delivery of food for 10 years. And let me break it down for you. You have 68 invoices unpaid from 2013 to the 2017 elections. 68. You have 185 invoices unpaid from the 2017 elections to the 2022 elections. Governor, it would be a disaster. It would be a tragedy. It would be unacceptable from a Libon for you to exit office and leave these bills unpaid. It will be completely unacceptable to leave this burden to Governor Gataya. You must clean up your mess, Governor.
Is Gataya running? Right, what does that, we don't know His Excellency by that name in our setup.
I thought you were more concerned about Governor Gataya.
No, this is a discussion for another day. I'm yet to declare some interest.
Anyway, Senator.
Chair obliged.
Chair, I think also I agree with you because from the recommendation in this payment of pending bill, that in this financial year, 288 million have been paid by the entity. My concern, Chair, is, we need to be fair to what we call small Kenyans, because looking even at Mutindwa Express, this was also of 2015. He surveys the car KBY 640C, and he only being owed 14,449 shillings, which is even tires 175,000. Chair, but looking from which we were asking the auditor when, but he said they are still keeping a view on it, of this 288 million, why is it not a priority to the governor to settle these small claims? Because these small claims means a lot to most of these contractors. So for example, somebody you owe 14,000, or let's say average of 15,000, Mutindwa Express, from 2015, what are you verifying, Governor, up to now? What is the challenge that most of your, in your financial statement, most of them, including Sophia, including a number, I had seen a number of them, done solutions, we have a number of, number 28,000, Total Hospital Solution Limited, that is 16 December 2014. Supply of non-pharmaceutical, this was only 28,750. And from your report, you have paid, in this financial year, we are under consideration, you have paid 288 million. Which justification do you have that somebody from 2015 to now, almost 10 years, is being owed only 15,000? Do you think it's fair? And what is the plan? Because now you are building on your legacy. You are only having 2 to 3 years, another 1,000 before. I know from 2026 next year, it will just be campaigns. So what is your plan before you exit office? Or you want somebody to come and say, I was not there. It was Governor Muthomi Njuki who was then there.
Governor? Please, please go on record.
Chair and Senator Sergei Cherage. Sometimes I usually don't really catch his name very much because you've been very evasive in being my friend. I want to...
Chair, how can you be friends with somebody you only see in a committee?
And who doesn't pay pending bills?
And who doesn't pay small people? And I'm a proponent of Mamboga and Border.
Yeah,
if he can pay those people, he'll be a great friend of mine.
Chair, it's good to acknowledge, yes, we have a genuine case of a small traders who've not been paid, but it's also a challenge in how we can be able to pay them. Since 2013, we found 1.3 billion, of which, of that time, we have reduced that, what senators read, the 288 is now the balance, not what we have paid. What we paid is 348. The remaining is 288. So from 1.3 to 288, we've made very good progress. And part of the documentation we normally use in paying those who have no documentation at all are court orders. If you have a court order and we realize that it's ruled in your favor, we'll use that document here when we come here.
Just Governor, just hold on. I thought OAG in your report you have said the management within the managed to clear pending bills amounting to 288 million. One. Governor is saying he had cleared 340 million. So which is which?
348.
OAG.
Thank you, Chair. Now we were looking at the comparison between the second quarter financial statement and the third quarter financial statement.
How much has he paid? So it's correct that he has paid 348 million. Because in your report you are saying he has cleared 288 million in this financial year under that was 628 million.
Thank you, Chair. I think there was a small error there. The difference is supposed to be between the second quarter and the third quarter.
Which is how much?
That is the 288 million shillings was cleared between that period. So between the first quarter and the second quarter, they may also have cleared an additional maybe 100 million or so.
So that comes to 388, not 343 million. So is correct, is it? So what you are hearing Governor saying he has paid is you are hearing it for the first time, but in your records you are saying 288.
Thank you, Chair. And my reference points are unaudited financial statements for the second quarter and then the third quarter. So we'll subject to this information the Governor is giving us to test when we'll be doing now the financial statements for the year ended 2024-2025.
I'll leave it there.
Yes.
Now, Governor, in this amount that you have paid, you have insisted on two lines, whether there is a court matter, whether you have a court degree for payment.
Yes,
Governor, let me just finish my question. Do you have any evidence of how many contractors have gone to court in Tharaka? So that we are, because if you just say when you have a court degree or a directive that you be paid, do we have any basis or any evidence that shows that there are a particular number of contractors or suppliers of Tharaka that have moved to court or they have challenged in any forum? Is there any evidence of such?
Governor?
Yeah, Chair. Do I answer the first one or the second one? Because I was in you asking me question after question after question after question.
Governor, answer both. You can start with the last. Or you can
First
start
and
with the
foremost, I said we have made progress and we will commit to pay even the remaining ones based on evidence that we will not be coming back to this committee to account for a fraud payment, because that time you'll have no mercy on us. You'll be talking about payment of fraudulent, fictitious maybe contracts that time. That we will do. But I've said we'll pay it based on two things. One, either these suppliers provide evidence of having supplied. It does not have to be only the delivery notes. We also need acknowledgement of the same. We are not saying you cannot go and make one at the moment. It has to be that one of 2014. The other way is
Governor, let me get you direct so that you go sequentially. So if this Sophia works with the delivery note and all documentation today to your accounting department, she will be paid or will be paid.
That's why I've explained, Senator, that it has to be one that shows the goods were received at that time, not now.
So in short, Governor, you are saying the verification process will start afresh.
Now, we have to be shown evidence of verification for that time.
Governor, remember these are your financial statements. You are the one who generated this. So the fact that Sophia, Solution, Total Hospital and the rest, Mutindwa Express and the rest, so it means what you generate here, which I want to believe in financial statements, is you are not sure that you owe them.
One thing that we did when we assumed office, Senator Cheregai,
Yes.
is that we put in place a pending bills committee that verified the authenticity of these pending bills. And
So
that-
what was the outcome?
and most of these are not on the pending bills list. However, a second team was sent by the Auditor General, which was not made of the Auditor General staff themselves, but they had outsourced. They had sold the services, and that is where most of those problems came from. Because even though the hired auditors are supposed to be very professional, most of these suppliers went to these auditors and insisted that they supplied, and they had not come to us for the pending bills. So this list we are talking about here is not a list of the Tharaka Nithi County. It is the list generated by the Auditor General as what they think are the genuine claims.
Point of order, Governor. Financial statements belong to you, it doesn't belong to OAG.
So if I look at what we have in our book that is very voluminous, which is with this committee, and if you don't have a copy, I can give you one.
The
Most
one
of-
on- so Governor, let's move sequentially. I like how you're answering your questions. So you have your own report on the pending bills, which you instituted yourself.
Yes,
So you have it.
we have it.
Number two,
And
you are
Sophia is
saying-
not there.
So OAG sent a team to audit and came up with another list of pending bills.
That is correct, and they can confirm.
But now you are saying the contractors who you owe them in these financial statements, you don't know them because they are generated by OAG. But financial statements belongs to you.
Governor, I don't think I will accept that direction. These financial statements have been signed by you and your officers.
Correct.
This schedule cannot be the OAG's schedule. Unless OAG,
Who's chair? What's
unless
the
OAG, you are the one who's doing financial statements for Tharaka Nithi.
Tharaka Nithi.
Can you confirm that, Director?
Thank you, Chair. No, we are not the one doing financial statements for Tharaka Nithi. They have their own.
And any entity.
And any entity we audit.
Senator Cherge,
So can I
finalize?
finish because Governor anacheza mchezo wa kalongolongo. Because what he's saying in his own report, which he instituted when he took over power, and we gave him a lot of blessings when he was running for governor, which he has never shown any appreciation towards it, instituted the report. But he's saying the OAG sent another team to audit for pending. So in his own report, Sophia does not exist. But in the OAG pending audit report, Sophia exists.
Senator Cherargei, there is no other report beside this. This is the governor's report.
Yes.
It has Sophia.
Yes.
And unless the governor has left the running of the county to the OAG, I think we cannot use that as a basis for discussion. Governor, we have ventilated on this long enough, and we must provide direction. I see you being hesitant to take action. We shall force you to take action. We shall force you to take action by taking a recommendation to the House that all counties, over and above what we have said, must retire all debt older than 5 years. You can't have debt that is 10 years. And there are only two ways to retire debt older than 10 years. One, you verify and pay. Two, you dismiss and refer the case to DCI or EACC. Those are the only two ways. But you can't come here and tell us that for the last 10 years, you are trying to establish if food was delivered to Chuka Hospital. That kind of reasoning or explanation is not for the level of the Senate. I think we feel quite belittled as a committee that we are being told that that verification is happening for 10 years. If you are not going to take action on your own motion, we shall force you to take action. And clerks, I think when you are making our recommendations on this, we need to put the aging aspect, but we also we need to look at what Article 225 says. Because can we then stop the transfer of funds to these counties until they have a plan to clear the debts older than 5 years? And Governor, I'm not instructing you to pay Sophia. If they delivered, pay them. If they didn't deliver, deal with them. If they didn't deliver and they have got 10 invoices, then those are criminals. Send them to DCI. But indeed, if they delivered, pay Sophia. And that is not a request. I think that is a recommendation and a directive of the Senate. OAG, please also ask the right questions. In this audit query, you have only reported to us that there's a variance of 4,000 on LAP fund, between LAP fund and the county. Surely, these questions around the age of the debt, these are questions you need to go into. Please, in your in-year audit, ask the right questions. As I said, bringing a variance of 4,000, again, we feel is contemptuous to this Senate. Ask those questions that we are asking. Go and demand for some samples of those invoices and confirm whether what the CFO is talking about is true. And if there is no evidence to support the deliveries, then it is fair you close the files, hand them over to DCI, and we move on. Governor, is that rocket science? Is that very difficult to do?
Obliged, Chair.
So, Auditor, you'll help us by bringing out the real audit queries. Because if we didn't dig into this, we wouldn't have understood what the problem is.
Yes, Chair. Thank you.
Let's move with